are the essential tools that you need in fly fishing? Well, if you're just starting out, you go into a fly shop and you see walls and walls of all different kind of tools and gadgets. But what are the essentials you need to get started? First of all, you need a pair of snips to cut your line. A good, sharp, high quality pair of snips so you can cut those knots nice and clean. And that should be usually put on some kind of zinger or pin-on reel so that you can reach it and get to it and it doesn't fall in the water. The other thing you need is a pair of forceps. Forceps are used to get the fly out of a deeply hooked fish. Some people tie knots with their forceps. They use their forceps to tie their knots. Some people use them to hold the fly when they're tying the knots. But a really important thing for forceps is to have a flat blade in the front for debarbing hooks so that you can pinch the barb on a hook to make it barbless. Those are what you usually get in the essentials pack for fly fishing, and those are things you really need. There's a couple other things that I think are essentials. First of all, a thermometer. A thermometer in cold weather tells you if the water's going to be warm enough for decent fishing, or you may want to check different parts of a river to see if the water's a little warmer. It's even more important later in the season when the water gets warm and you really want to stop fishing at 68 degrees. So you want to have a thermometer with you. Fish are cold-blooded. They're regulated by the temperature of the water, and you need a thermometer to know what's going on. And then the one other, I think, essential thing, not everybody carries one, is a hook hone, a hook sharpener. You might tick your fly on a rock behind you and it'll bend the point back or it'll dull the point, and rather than throwing the fly away, you just take out your hook hone and resharpen that hook. Or you hook your nymph on the bottom on a rock or a log or something and it dulls the point. So having a hook hone is essential. There are a few other things that I think are essential that I always carry with me. One is a roll of duct tape. In an emergency, they'll patch your waders, they'll hold a reel onto a rod. You know, everybody needs to have duct tape. So I like to keep a little bit of duct tape with me. And then also a hook removing tool. Sometimes you can't really get in there with forceps and they're a little rough on a fly. And there are a number of really good hook removing tools that you can use to just shove it down in there, poke the fly, and get it out of the fish quickly, particularly if it's barbless. And then one more thing that I think a lot of people forget are some kind of lens cleaners. Lens cleaning cloth, particularly if you're fishing in salt water, but even trout fishing. Your sunglasses and your glasses get spray on them. You can't see as well. So having some sort of lens cleaning cloth is really important. And then one other thing that I like to carry with me is a multi-tool knife. It's got a couple screwdrivers on it. You might need it for reel repair or something, but what I like is a multi-tool knife that has a pair of scissors, because your snips are not very good for trimming flies. And if you wanted to, let's say you wanted to shorten the wing on this elk hair caddis, having a pair of decent scissors is really handy and really quick. It's a lot harder to do with your teeth or with a pair of snips. And then some people will carry a knot tying tool with them. You know, if you have trouble tying knots, you might want to carry a knot tying tool. This particular knife happens to have a nail knot tool in it, and that's the only tool I really need. Most of the other knots I can do without any problem, but I do, if I have to tie a nail knot, I do like to have a nail knot tool. So those are really the things that are essential for taking on the river with you. Well, we just rode into River of Dreams and we had a little time before dinner, and there's a spring creek right on the property where the camp is. So we worked up, I don't know, a half mile, 3/4 of a mile of Spring Creek, and I haven't done anything. And then Mark came up and said he had a couple fish that ate a black beetle. I tried a black beetle and had one fish come for it, and I set the hook too soon. They're coming for it very slowly. And this fish here came and took it. And he was in very shallow water in a little pocket by the bank. And he just tore through all this weed. And Luciano got out there and he pulled the weed off my line, and he finally netted the fish. So it was a pretty epic battle. Wow!